This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
I'm alive now, no, that something good is gonna happen when I let go of my fears and never ever look back again. Can you feel the sun? Can you see it through the blue, blue sky? Freedom's calling your name. Freedom's calling your name. Clap your hands and go, go, go and shout, I am free.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Thursday, July the 9th of 2026, and we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and we are also hanging out with our friends and family over there.
Freeform radio never sounded this great. Or has it? Radio Big.
Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends with Radio Big, no doubt about that. So, yeah, always some things going on inside of the multiverse. Definitely, as we get to hang around all aspects here of things that are going on. So how are you? How's the last 24 hours or so been? Because that's always an important thing to start off with, just to figure out what the hell is going on. Because why would you not want to know those thingies? That is for sure. So we are hanging out, doing our thing today. Let me give you this one before I get too far.
Hey, all you cool cats, coming at you live.
Did I miss anything? Hey, there's a monkey in the booth.
I've never been this excited.
All we have to do is listen.
This is where the fun starts.
Well, here we go.
Okay, so we're going to get the fun started first thing this morning and doing all the fun stuff because, hey, let me explain this to you. Our show here consists of being 3 hours long. Only hour one is put into a podcast. Only hour one is video cast. Only hour one is multi-streamed across multiple sources there. So there you go. That's what we do. Hour 2 and 3 is exclusive to Radio Big. Just so you know. Just before you can have a basic understanding of what is happening. So what do we do here? Well, we talk about safety in the news. News and safety. This is kind of the way that we go. We talk about what the hell's going on inside of the world in real time. Because why would you not want to do that? It throws some people off by doing it because it's like, what do you mean your show's not only about safety, but it says rated R safety, or
Rated R safety.
and people get extremely upset that I just don't go, no, that's not what we do the whole time. Yeah, it's frustrating. I get it. But listen, we got it. We got what we're doing. Because I boil back down to always the same thing. You can't start off talking about only safety because it throws people off. You kind of have to talk about some other things that are going on. If not, they just go, I don't care because you didn't say anything that was important to me. You're giving me statues and citations and all this other weird shit. So that's why. Anyway, so we do that. We bring in some professional broadcasters. They talk about what the hell is going on inside of the world, because why would they not? And then the other side of the equation, I come back and I do some level of a main story, and you and I get to hang out together a little bit more. If you want to interact with the show, it's simple to do so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the opciones of the things that are going on, and then we move, we groove, we go. Yeah, that's it. That is the whole kit and caboodle. So if you're good with that, I'm good with that. Why don't we go ahead and bring our friends in from Feature Story News, let them tell you what the hell is going on inside of this multiverse, and then we'll just get moving into everything else. So let's go ahead and do that right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Paris, I'm Ross Cullen. The United States has launched a second larger wave of airstrikes against Iran, targeting coastal radar installations and anti-ship missile sites along the country's southeastern coast. US President Donald Trump declared the ceasefire with Tehran over while attending the NATO summit, warning of further escalation if Iran continued to target commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's Revolutionary Guard responded by launching missiles and drones at dozens of American military sites in Bahrain and Kuwait. Kate Fisher reports from Washington.
You know, earlier in the day, Donald Trump had declared this ceasefire over, saying that he didn't want to negotiate anymore with Iran, calling them scum and sick. And he said he was ready to just finish the job, and certainly did say that there would be more strikes tonight. That has happened, although they aren't on a huge scale.
Tehran's deputy foreign minister called the American leader criminal and murderous. The collapse in talks follows the first new US airstrikes on Iran earlier this week, targeting more than 80 sites along the coast. That came after Iran attacked 3 commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices have surged once more due to the new escalation, with Iran warning that the Strait of Hormuz will only operate fully under its control. Negar Anga is a former senior advisor at the U.S. State Department.
I mean, essentially the negotiations are compromised, but I don't necessarily see diplomacy dead just yet. Obviously, it's highly, discredited. It's going to be harder to revive. But and the reason for that is that June 17 Memorandum of Understanding was always just a bridge document, right? Mm-hmm. It stopped the fighting. It stopped the bleeding. It tried to sketch out some set of incentives. But it really just postponed a lot of those real fights. And one of those big fights was essentially what happens to the control of the Hormuz Strait.
Ukraine's allies will meet in Paris on Monday to discuss ongoing support for Kiev after Volodymyr Zelensky attended the NATO summit in Turkey. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte says the alliance's Ankara meeting showed that the bloc is more together than ever, despite US President Donald Trump throwing the gathering into disarray by ordering a halt to all American trade with Spain and renewing his claims on Greenland. Stuart Smith reports from Ankara.
There was trepidation amongst NATO leaders as Donald Trump started Wednesday's summit with criticism of NATO allies, notably Denmark suggesting that the US was still interested in annexing Greenland, and also for Spain, which is the only NATO ally of the 32 that has not promised to increase its GDP spent, its proportion of GDP spent on defence to 5%. It's staying around 2%. So Donald Trump suggested that he would try to cut trade ties with Spain and that there would be political repercussions.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, what to make of President Trump's paroxysm of anger towards Iran. Speaking at the NATO summit in Ankara on Wednesday, the US leader described the Iranian government as scum, cheats and liars, vicious and violent. He said the 14-point Memorandum of Understanding signed just 3 weeks ago with Iran was over, and he appeared to suggest a return to full-blown conflict is on the cards. Animating the president's anger, Iran's attacks on 3 commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz on Tuesday. But are we really on the brink of more war? Jim Townsend is a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense in the Obama administration.
There's despair for sure, and there's frustration. He spouts off the top of his head and talks about the MOU is finished, et cetera, but he's told his people to keep talking. So he's going to threaten and bluster, and he's going to do some bombing and then this kind of thing. But I think he's willing to let these talks continue because he doesn't have much of a a choice. He might talk about finishing the job. I don't think he's got the gut to finish the job based on how much that would require in terms of boots on the ground and that type of thing. So I think there is frustration and it is just some despair, but they're going to keep moving forward with these talks.
The president said he thought continuing negotiations would prove to be a waste of time, but as Mr. Townsend said there, he certainly didn't ban his top officials from pursuing them. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
And now another look at the top stories around the world. The US has launched new airstrikes against Iran, targeting coastal radar installations and anti-ship missile sites along the country's southeastern coast. Iran's Revolutionary Guard responded by launching missiles and drones at dozens of American military sites in Bahrain and Kuwait. And successive heat waves meant it was the hottest June on record in Western Europe, according to the EU's Climate Centre. That's the latest feature story news. This is Ross Cullen reporting from Paris.
Listen to our host
Of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, yes, that's how it goes from time to time. You do have a face for radio, so you stick to it. I mean, that's just kind of the way that it happens. Anyways, 14 minutes past the top of the hour, so let's start talking right away about some things that are going on inside of the world. Speaking at the NATO summit in Turkey, President Trump said that he believes that he is the top target on the Iranian regime telling reporters, I'm on every single one of their lists. Trump comments came after a hardline figures in Iran publicly called for attacks against him following the death of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali. Pro-regime demonstration in Tehran also featured posters and chants threatening Trump and other U.S. officials. The president said the threats stem from the 2020 U.S. drone strike that killed Iranian general, and acknowledged that he's been fortunate so far, that maybe doesn't last very long. The remarks come amid escalating tensions between the U.S. and Iran after Trump declared a ceasefire with Iran over the authorized new military strikes following Iranian attacks on commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Take a listen to this.
Their leaders are gone. They had leaders, they're gone. And they had another set of leaders, they're gone. Now they have another set of leaders, they may be gone. Who knows? And you know what? I may be gone too, because I'm their number one target. It's out all over the place. I'm their number one, because they're scum. That's the way they act. And that's the way they've done it for 47 years. But I'm doing what's right for the country. I'm doing really what's right for the world. You know, the life of a president is very dangerous. It's 5.2%. You know what a race car driver is? 1/10 of 1%. A bull rider, that looks pretty dangerous to me. It's 1/10 of 1%. No, it's 5.2% is you don't make it. You should have told me you're an excellent reporter. You should have told me that years ago. Maybe I wouldn't have run. It's a very dangerous profession.
So there you go. There's the percentages according to Trump of exactly how, what's your expectancy of living in regards to what's going on. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I would look it up. I would call it Scott Steiner math. And if you know what that means, you know exactly what it means. If not, you should probably look it up, and it probably makes a little bit more sense.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, you're listening to something magic, all right, but we'll leave that for a different day as we are talking. Remember, this is the Thursday edition of this show, so let's just make sure that we're clear here in regards of what is going on. So there you go. So let's talk about a couple of weird ones, and then we'll get into some more serious stuff, or maybe a few weird ones. A 93-year-old Iowa man is on the verge of making history. Orrin Asmus, who turns 94 next month, has been behind the wheel of a semi since he was 19, now in line to become the world's oldest truck driver, according to the Guinness World Record. His employer, McLaughlin Freight, submitted his name after discovering that he appears to have surpassed the current record holder over the record spanning more than 70 years. Orrin has logged more than 5 million miles and has driven in every state except Alaska and Hawaii, and he says that he's still not ready to park it. So there you go. Something kind of not that you really hear of that often. So there you go. Take a listen to this one. An 80-year-old Michigan woman turned a quiet evening into a life-changing payday after logging onto a state online lottery site because she was bored. She started playing the instant game and quickly won about $700. Instead of cashing out, she used the winnings to keep playing higher stakes. Just as she was about to call it a night, the game revealed a $100,000 jackpot. She woke up her husband to share the news, but he didn't believe her until she called the Michigan Lottery to confirm that the prize was real. So I guess that is some life-changing stuff going on there. There you go. So let me ask you a question. It is summer season, and, a lot of people doing the flying stuff, flying around, traveling, doing their thing. I got a question for you. If you heard this, what would you do? In a viral TikTok video, has people talking about a gate agent at Miami International Airport offered passengers a huge incentive to voluntarily give up their seats on an overbooked flight. According to a video, travelers are offered $1,250 credit plus $1,000 in prepaid Visa card, a total of $2,250 in compensation. And the crowd abruptly gasped, and many people online said they would have accepted the offer immediately. Airlines routinely overbook flights because some passengers don't show up. The federal rules don't cap how much compensation airlines can offer volunteers, allowing carriers to make increasingly generous offers when they need seats. I mean, here's my thing. That didn't tell me anything about how they're going to book me to my destination. That's number one. Number two, here's the way that I always look at it. If this is what you're willing to offer, what are you willing not to offer? Because that's what we need to go to.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
What? I don't think I'm wrong there. I mean, you can disagree, that's for sure. I mean, I'm not saying don't, but what a weird time, right? Okay, so let's get into some serious stuff because I think that we need to do this because why would we not do it? So take a listen to this. This one came up and I was kind of shocked about it. Former U.S. alpine skier T.J. Lanning has died at the age of 41. The U.S. snowboard announced that his death, calling him someone whose impact in the sport extended far beyond the years of competition. No cause of death has been released. A Montana native, Lanning rose through the ranks as one of the world's top junior skiers before representing Team USA in 2007. He won the U.S. downhill title in 2008 and had a recorded several strong World Cup finishes, including 9th place downhill finish at Lake Louise that same year. His competitive career came to an abrupt end in 2009 after a devastating crash at Lake Louise that left him with a fractured neck and serious injury. After retiring from racing, Lanning remained deeply involved in the sport, coaching speed teams and the U.S. ski team. So what do you think here? Kind of an interesting one. And I always, I almost said hate, but I won't say that. I always dislike when information comes up like that and then nothing's given because people always imagine the worst, present company included, in regards to what's going on. So what do you think here? I'm just saying. What do you think? Okay, so take a listen to this because we were talking about the president a few moments ago. Let's go ahead and continue a little bit with that. President Trump reportedly switched from the new Qatar-donated Air Force One to the original presidential aircraft during his trip to NATO summit to the United Kingdom as tensions with Iran has escalated. According to multiple former national security officials, the original Air Force One offers advanced military defenses and secure command and control capabilities that the newer aircraft does not yet fully provide, making it better suited for managing a military crisis. During the flight aboard the original Air Force One, Trump authorized additional military strikes against Iran. The White House and Air Force have maintained that the newer aircraft is safe and equipped to the presidential travel, while Trump said the switch also allowed U.S. troops in the UK to see the new plane. So there you go. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I mean, I don't know. Some people had such mixed reviews about everything that was going on with this plane. I don't know. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? You have to make the decision.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, another pitfall of what the hell is going on here. No doubt about that. Because that's what we do. We kind of pitfall into some of these things and then move forward from there. So let's listen to this because apparently
it's never gonna leave the fucking news.
Graham Planter has suspended his campaign for U.S. Senate following a sexual assault allegation that he strongly denies. In an 11-minute video, Plantner said that ending his campaign was not an admission of guilt, but the pressure surrounding the accusation that had made it impossible for his campaign to continue. Planter accused the corporate media and political establishment of working against him and argued that the allegations should be investigated rather than treated as a final judgment. He has also called for an open and transparent process to select a new Democratic nominee. Meanwhile, the main Democratic Party said that Planter and his team have no role in choosing his replacement and accused them of trying to influence the selection process. So there you go. So what do you think about this? Because here's the thing. We love to say innocent until proven guilty. You've heard this before. Innocent until proven guilty. But most of the times, that is not the case. It is the court of public opinion that really kind of plays the big factor on what the hell is going on. I'm just saying. Because listen, you can say these people are innocent, or you can say that they are guilty, even if they've been tried or not tried, and just continue with your rigmarole in regards of what the hell is going on. So what do you think here? Are you innocent until proven guilty, or does it really change? Or do you look at it and go, it always matters by what the hell is going on? At the end of the day, you know how it is. It's the court of public opinion. And listen, it's one of those weird things that we take a look at and go, what is the true reality of the whole thing? Because nobody ever knows. It's a weird one.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, former Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Duggan was sentenced to a $5,000 fine with no prison time or probation after being convicted of obstructing ICE officers who were trying to arrest a man outside of her courtroom. Although federal sentencing guidelines recommend 15 to 20 months in prison, the U.S. District Judge Lynn Alderman said that Duggan decades of public service, lack of risk to reoffend, and the personal consequences that she had already faced, including losing her judgeship and withdrawing from public life, made the incarceration unnecessary. Duggan told the court that she was simply trying to do her job and did not apologize for her actions, but said that she takes the conviction seriously. Her attorneys plan to appeal the felony conviction, arguing that the law was improperly applied and that she should have been protected under the judicial immunity. So what do you think here? It's always such a weird thing to talk about. I mean, and don't get me wrong. The law is the law is the law. I know sometimes you're the person that might have to uphold the law. You might be the person who don't agree with the law, but also at the same time too, well, the law is there for a reason. And let's not get into the whole thing is that I fought the law and the law won, because we can leave that for another comment there. So there you go. Anyways, earlier I forgot to mention it. You can still hang out with us and do some things here at Call In Radio. I got a question for you real quick. So yesterday, I was at a convenience store, and I was walking through it, and a woman was standing outside with her dog. Another customer came up over and started petting the dog, smiled, and then said, "Wow, your dog's fat." You see the owner's expression change instantly. She didn't laugh. She didn't even smile. She just gave the look that said, "Did you really just say that?" type of thing. People would never just walk up to a parent and say, "Hey, your kid's getting chunky." But for some reason, people seem to be perfectly comfortable with commenting with someone else's pet. So let's settle this morning, because I want to figure this out. Is it rude to call someone else's pet fat? Is it just an innocent observation, or should you keep these opinions to yourself? I would love to hear your opinion on this one. Go to callinradio.com. I'll see what you give me over here on the prompter, because I would definitely love to know your opinion on it. Callinradio.com for sure for more information. Okay, so take a listen to this, because I always get confused on stuff. A Pittsburgh police detective is facing theft by deception charges after investigators say that he billed Target for hours that he never worked while off-duty security detail. Surveillance video alleged showed him arriving late, leaving early, and submitting full shifts anyways. Police say that the missing time added up to nearly 6 hours, costing Target $480. The detective has been placed on paid administrative leave while the case moves forward. So even his time clock needs an alibi. Also, he treated his work schedule like a streaming service. Skip the boring parts. Turns out that the biggest thing stolen at Target wasn't aisle 7. Not at aisle 7 at all, it sounds like. So there you go. What do you think here? Interesting, right? I'm just saying. $480 for 6 hours? Guess not a bad deal if you actually show up. But we'll leave that for something else. Okay, so firefighters in Astoria, Oregon were called to an unusual rescue. after a young deer somehow ended up stranded on a roof of a home. Using a ladder truck, the crew safely reached the frightened fawn and brought it back to the ground and reunited it with its mother. The Astoria Fire Department shared photos of the rescue on social media, joking that while rooftop deer rescues aren't exactly an everyday occurrence, they also are happy to help anyone else who finds themselves stuck on a roof. I mean, it almost sounds like they did the Superman gig there for a moment. I mean, just think about that. Just saying. Apparently, we're going to keep it into with the old folks today, and I'm not picking here. I just think it's kind of interesting. A New Zealand great-grandfather has earned Guinness's world record after becoming the world's oldest male water skier. Brian Murray was 94 years and 318 days old when he successfully skied on Auckland's Lake Creta in April. Murray has been in water skiing since 1955 and says that staying active has been the key of his longevity. He credits the sport for bringing his family together over the years and says he has no plans to retire from the water. In fact, he's hoping to bring back his own record next summer, saying that you don't stop because you're too old. You get old because you stop being active. That's what I say. I agree with that comment. Yeah, it stops working well if you stop being active. Totally agree with that dude. No doubt.
Duh.
So let's continue. Anyways, a town in West Virginia called Brackaville is temporarily without a police department after the two remaining officers were relieved of their duty by the mayor and the town council. The move came after the officers reportedly had a break-in at the department, an evidence room, and questioned whether the town officials were involved. According to the officers, the council members admitted taking a set of police keys before he and the other officer were placed in active status. The town police chief had resigned just days earlier, citing concerns about the council overreach and the lack of transparency. With no local officers on duty, the county sheriff's office is now handling emergency calls in the town. So let's just kind of talk about that for a moment as I beat the shit out of this microphone over here. If you were in a town, city, whatever the hell you want to call it, that had no active authority, how different do you think the town would be? I'm not saying are you having the full-blown purge thing, like the good old first part of the movie. How do you think the interaction would be? How crazy would it be? Would there be looters? Would things change drastically? Or would life continue on, dear John? I'm just trying to figure it out because I'm always kind of curious on how some of the things go on. So why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and get into our main story.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, let's talk about the main story because it is 32 minutes past the top of the hour on this lovely Thursday that we need to actually do some stuff. Now, I have a question for you because it becomes the question of questions of things that we talk about. Because there's a lot of information that we disclose on this show. We go from one side of the equation all the way to the other side of the equation, and sometimes we leave things in between. And that's perfectly fine because that's just kind of the context of how we do the show. It's been like that since day one.
Duh.
So why would we change that now? That's always the question to me. So let's continue, and let me ask you this one weird question that I would like to have a better understanding on. So I hope you're ready. Inside of your workplace, is there a person or people or a group or a clique that has influence over your system more than the management does? Now, just think about that for just one moment. Is there a person, a group, or a clique that has influence over the system more than the manager does? Now, depending on how you answer that question, we can go down some different roles here. If the management team is the only one that has the influence over the system, okay, not a problem. I will say it might sound a little command and control, but we'll leave that for a whole other equation and leave that alone for just a moment because don't want to go down that path. But if that's where it is, that's where it is. Now, if you do have a person, a group, a clique that does have a level of command, a level of control over your system more than your management team does, how does that work? Now, let me backtrack for just a moment. We are not talking about a union. So, sorry that I did not give you that inside of the wheelhouse first, but we are definitely not talking about a union here. We are talking about influencing the system outside, inside, however you want to do it. So, no union whatsoever in regards to what we're talking about. So let's make sure we clear that up. Okay, so if you do have this group, person, clique that has this potential, would you, now follow me, would you be willing to have a conversation with a person, group, or clique to change something inside of the workplace? Because here is a lot of struggles that we run into. Sometimes we want to do changes within our system, and that's not a problem. That's a good thing. Change sometimes is good. Really most of the times, but we'll leave that for a different story there.
Duh.
But here's what I want you to think about. If you are willing to talk about something that needs to be changed, if you are willing to discuss this and this is the big and, not get quote unquote credit for influencing the change, would you be willing to talk to other people about changing something? The reason I bring this up about the group, clique, or individual, not because I'm trying to play a popularity contest here, but you do realize that sometimes when they do use the term the more the merrier, and I am not using the magical we are using this for the sole fact of sometimes we have to get involved with other people just to be able to get things to change. And if you're not willing to do that, that could actually do some stutter stepping of what the hell's going on. So I look at it from this particular standpoint, and you don't have to agree or you can agree, just depending on how you want to look at it. If you are willing to change stuff, if you are willing to do things out of the ordinary, and you are able to talk to people that have influence over the system, those changes can probably go into place quicker. But if it's one of those things where you have to look at what the hell you did and have some level of, oh, let me prove this to myself. Oh, let me show you exactly what have you done for me lately type of thing. That's going to become a problem. I'm not going to lie. I am going to tell you straight on how this works. Some of the most influential people that are in this industry will normally have conversations with others that might have more level of influence than the person that they are to make sure that certain concepts go across. They will have discussions behind the scenes. And you might look at these groups of people and realize that you don't see them together on a day in, day out basis, but they are willing to do the common bond of saying, let's have this discussion and talk about the influence that they might have. Like, I think it's amazing that there are some concepts that are out there currently that are tied into what some people would deem masterminds, or let me try that again.
Masterminds.
Inside of the industry that are not their original concepts. I'm not picking here. I'm just telling you. The reason I'm telling you this is because sometimes the level of influence that others have can assist you in driving certain things forward. But would you be willing to drop ego, lower the entropy to be able to get this done? Those are the questions that you need to do. So is name recognition that belongs to you more important, or is getting what you want to accomplish more important in the long run? That's the thing to think about.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the law site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Our station is so big that you don't have to do much to make it work for you. Radio Big.
Can you feel the sun? Can you see it through the blue, blue sky? Freedom's got in your head.
Okay, here we go. 45 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Thursday. Yeah, this right here that you're listening to, it's called Never Look Back. It's by Asif Spectre. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. I would recommend strongly giving a little streamer-emer action and taking a listen to what the hell's going on there. No doubt there. We would like to thank Asif Spectre for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Always a fun time as we get to do some new music as we are hanging out. So let me do this. Let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. And that's about my friends at Right Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And we want you to know that people have been where you are now and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, all you have to do is just click and you'll see information related to addiction, depression, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com to Right Love on Her Arms. Listen, I'm going to tell you this because I always find it amazing. If we take away some of the stigma that's related to this conversation, things can improve for people. Because listen, we live in a society that we cannot talk most of the times about how our mentality is working, how our brain is working, how our thought processes is being processed. I want you to think about this. If you would be able to have this discussion, how would things go? So, let's start the conversation. TWLOHA.com to Right Love on Her Arms. You go there, it can change everything for you. And I don't say that as a joke. Not at all. Okay, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on. Listen, we are days away. Today's the 9th. This is happening on the 13th. Reality Shift, an observational symposium live and in person, not a virtual event, happening at the Aloma Cinema Grill in Orlando. What will be going on? Todd Conklin, Nick Weatherly, and yours truly will all be there in person having a discussion about how to shift your reality. Todd will be talking about human and organizational performance. Nick Weatherly will be having a discussion about behavioral science or behavior-based safety, depending on how you want to look at it. We'll have a brief viewing of a documentary and then I'll come out and talk about Signal. It's a fun-packed day happening in Orlando. If you want to find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.io or scan the little QR code that's on the screener there, and that will get everything rolling for you. Yeah. It's how quick things happen around here. So if you go there, set that up, we'll have a fun-packed day on that day. It'll give you every information that you want to know about what the hell is going on. That is it. safetyfm.io to find out more. Okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and bring in John Small. Let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Chad. Simon Sinek said, "When the incentives offered prioritize growth over stability, we successfully build large, unstable organizations." Very true. I've noticed some things in very large companies and government entities that have always bothered me. There are systems in place to make a budget, get it approved, and then spend every cent. And if you don't spend everything this year, it's going to cost you in the budget next year. What? So if you're able to save the company money or the government entity, then they penalize you? Shouldn't they reward those who find ways to save money? They don't. It's so weird to me. Now, we're a small company. We celebrate when we find ways to save money. I'm not going to penalize anybody for helping me on that mission. I've only worked in one company with that stance, and it was so weird to me.
The Motivation Minute.
This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Russia launched a major barrage of missiles and drones at Ukraine.
The overnight strikes on Monday hit Kyiv and other areas, killing at least 22 people and damaging residential buildings. Ukrainian forces intercepted many incoming threats, but some ballistic missiles got through. President Zelensky highlighted gaps in air defenses as leaders prepare for an upcoming NATO summit. Benjamin Wright reporting.
An Idaho mother was charged in the deaths of her toddler twins.
Authorities accused the woman of murder after the children died following vaccinations, though details of the investigation continue to emerge. The case has drawn attention to vaccine safety debates. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Hamas has dissolved its governing body in Gaza.
The militant group announced the move on Monday as part of a broader push toward a US-brokered ceasefire agreement. It plans to transfer power to a UN-backed technocratic committee to manage civilian affairs in the territory. Officials hope the step will advance stalled peace efforts and ease humanitarian conditions amid ongoing conflict. Chris Anderson reporting.
Explosions rocked Syria's capital during a high-level visit.
Blasts hit Damascus on Monday while French President Macron met with Syrian leaders. At least 18 people were wounded according to local authorities. The incidents come amid fragile regional dynamics following recent conflicts. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Federal agents faced a lawsuit over an immigration-related visit.
A man sued after ICE officers came to his home based on an email, claiming it violated his free speech rights. The case highlights tensions in enforcement practices and First Amendment concerns. Kyle Norris reporting.
2 commercial ships were struck in the Strait of Hormuz.
A tanker caught fire off Oman after being hit by a projectile on Monday night, according to British military reports. US officials linked the incidents to Iranian forces, with no casualties reported. The attacks have raised fresh concerns about shipping safety and energy security in the critical waterway. Gary Beck reporting.
A high-rise building in Midtown Manhattan faced partial collapse risks.
Officials evacuated the area around a construction site near Grand Central Terminal on Tuesday after structural issues emerged. Mayor Mamdani warned residents to avoid the unstable zone as engineers assessed the damage. Jessica Oakley reporting.
Prosecutors pushed for trial in the case involving Charlie Kirk's killing.
Legal proceedings advanced on Monday as officials argued the accused should face justice. The high-profile assassination case continues to unfold with new testimony. Liam White reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
We're rocking all day at work because we don't give a duck. Autocorrect probably just saved my ass there.
Like I give a flying, you know.
Yeah, Like I give a flying you-know-what there, no doubt about that. Let's continue talking about some things that happened back on this date, because that seems like the thing that we should be doing right now. So let's talk about it. Back in 1932, the Washington Redskins, then Boston Braves, are formed. In 1951, President Truman asked Congress to formally end state of war with Germany. Let's see, what else is going on? In 1956, Dick Clark's first appearance as host of American Bandstand. In 1972, a first tour for Paul McCartney and Wings that happened in France. In 1980, Walt Disney's The Fox and Hound is released. What else? In 2008, prosecutors cleared John Benet Ramsey's parents and brother in the 1996 killing of the 6-year-old beauty queen in Boulder, Colorado. So I want you to think about that. That is 2008, a case that occurred in 1996. It took 12 years. Isn't that crazy? So all those things occurred back on the date that I have listed. Okay, so let's continue talking about some celebrity birthdays going on today. Dean Koontz turns 81. Jimmy Smits turns 71. Tom Hanks turns 70 today. Kelly McGillis turns 69. Mark Almond, 69 as well. Courtney Love turns 62. Jack White, 51, and Fred Savage turns 50 today. You know, the guy from the Wonder Years, which ran from 1988 to 1993. And in 2007, he made his film directorial debut with Daddy Day Camp. Yeah, he turns, 50 today. 50! Fred Savage, 50. Would have never thought. Okay, so there you go. That's what's going on. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know, because that seems important to do. President Trump says that any chance of a peace deal with Iran is over after Iran forces allegedly opened fire on oil tankers in the Strait. Speaking at NATO summit, Trump called Iran's leader scum and said that he no longer wants to negotiate with them. U.S. Central Command says that it responded by striking more than 80 targets, while Iran launched retaliatory strikes aimed at Bahrain and Kuwait. And their escalating conflict also pushed global oil prices to their highest levels in weeks. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there. Also, the cost of mailing a letter is about to increase again. Beginning July the 12th, the U.S. Postal Service will raise the price of the Forever stamp from 78 cents to 82 cents, part of the 4.8% increase in mailing rates. The latest hikes comes just 1 year after stamps increased from 73 cents to 78 cents. Since then, the Forever stamp were introduced in 2007. They cost 41 cents back then. The price has doubled over the past 19 years. The good news is that any Forever stamps that you've already purchased remain valid regardless of the current price, and is now to be good time to stock up before the new rates take effect. So there you go. What do you think? So that's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come out and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so, as we will be doing our stuff, talking about the world of music and entertainment and playing some music over there. If you do not want to go over there, that's perfectly fine. You can stay right here on Safety FM with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. Yep, that will be what's going on. So if I can't leave you with some words of wisdom today, complaining causes you to focus on everything but being your best. Think about that. And if you need some words of advice for today, when buying something new, ask yourself, will it still be happy if I bought it this 6 months from now? The one question can prevent a lot of impulse purchases. Will I be happy with this 6 months from now, or will it be in a closet somewhere inside of my home? Maybe that's the way that you should actually ask the question. Just saying. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios. as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.